we're talking about Father Jerry Roche, who was a missionary of the Priests of St. Patrick's Society, Kiltegan in Ireland, very sadly was murdered recently in Kenya. I'm talking to Sister Bernadette Gilsenan, a medical missionary of Mary who knew him very well. Sister Bernadette, thanks for talking to us. You're very sad, all of you friends and family of Father Jerry Roche. You knew him from the time he was a seminarian. Tell us what it was like when you first met him.
When I first met Father Jerry, he was a young man, just about 5 years in the seminary, full of enthusiasm and ready for the missions. And I had just come back from the missions, and he was asking me a lot of questions about Africa, and he just couldn't wait to go and get going there.
And then by coincidence he was actually assigned to Kenya, where you yourself had been a pioneer in the Turkana Desert back in the famine of 1962, isn't that right?
That's right. Well, he came there in 1968. We weren't actually in the same mission, but we met quite often. He came out with 5 other young men. 6 of them were ordained together and sent out to Kenya. And we had many nice gatherings together, and Father Jerry was a great singer, and he played the accordion, and he was full of life. But when it came to the more serious things in life, we discovered he was a very spiritual man, and he was a wonderful missionary, and he's been there now over 40 years with the people.
Well, the people must be absolutely devastated at his murder. It was a robbery, isn't that right?
That's right. He had just come back from Nairobi, and he'd been to visit his doctor and was given a clean bill of health, and he was just finishing the building of a new church. When I went to America in the early 70s for a small spell, Father Jerry introduced me to 3 of his sisters that were living close by to our house, medical missionary house in Chicago.
But of course he was part of a very big family, wasn't he?
He was one of 11. He had
11.
10, yeah, one of 11. He was about the 3rd youngest, I think. And 5 of his family are in Chicago, where I've been for the last 15 years, and we were very close friends.
They must be devastated with this news.
They are absolutely in shock.
Family wanted his remains brought back to be buried in County Limerick, isn't that right?
Yes,
near the family home.
Yeah, that's where he came from. And
what place in Limerick was it?
In a place called Athea in County Limerick. And the remains came home today on Saturday morning, and his family, many of them came from Chicago, and they're all there now tonight, and they accompany the body down to Limerick, where he's been waked in his family home, and the Mass is tomorrow, Sunday, at 2 o'clock. I'm hoping to be there and to meet a lot of the family.
That's the 20th of December. So the Mass is going to be in the country church where he grew up as a boy.
That's right, and he's been buried in the cemetery with his parents there.
Well, there was also, of course, great grief and the people in Kenya letting him go. I think they had celebrations there too.
Yes, I believe there was a very big Mass in Coricho in his parish, and there were 10 bishops there and over 100 priests, and literally thousands of people flocked from all sides, people that didn't even know him. It's a terrible tragedy and a loss to the St. Patrick's Fathers, and also, of course, to all the missionaries in Kenya. It has shook them.
And, of course, to the people that he was ministering among. Well, they won't forget him in Kenya, Sister Bernadette, and tomorrow when you go to meet his family and attend his funeral in Limerick, you'll give them all our deepest sympathy.
I will, certainly, and the people there are now without their priest, and he's just built them a lovely new church, so he certainly will be remembered.
He'll be missed and remembered.
Yes.
Thank you, Sister Bernadette, for talking to us.